I'm really organized and methodical. And I think when I started writing, I was taking my approach to my sort of personal life and applying it to my fiction in a way that there was constant friction. Planning for me in that way doesn't really work. I always think of a person first, and a person who I want to stick around with long enough, whether it's a short story frame or longer, and build out from the person, as opposed to build out from a plan, which is what I was constantly doing in the beginning, and constantly like hitting a wall where I feel like this feels like I'm trying really hard to write a story.
I felt like I was losing my mind like when I was writing this book once I hit the voice. And for a while it wasn't a novel, like it was a series of stories and it was scraps and it was just something I kept returning to. And then I wrote, there's like a part in there where she starts addressing her husband. There's a couple times where she like addresses her husband that she's left behind, and it's kind of this like manic sort of open letter that is not actually being written, it's just in her head. And once I wrote some of those and they kind of like get really weird and talk about something random and jump over here, then that I was like, oh, that's the voice, and it's kind of exhausting and terrifying to like sit there with it. And then things just became very quickly, because that tone sort of, it just determined the rest of the book.
I was recently interviewing Colson Whitehead about his writing process in Tucson, and he talked about how he'll get the whole sort of idea for his book ahead of time and then write it really quickly, and he may not even have the voice at first. He'll just dive right into the plot or whatever and then go back and adjust the voice later. And I was like marveling, because for me, if I don't have the voice, I can't proceed. So with the Veblen book, it took me a really long time to find that voice. Everything, you know, I mean, first drafts especially, or even 10th drafts for me it's blah, you know, there's just, but I was working towards, there's sort of it's not a fairy tale language, it's not a squirrel language, but it's something different from how I would just write in a first draft, you know, and it has sort of, I don't know if it's a magical quality. I mean, not magical, but just like a surreal, I don't know, something about it that I just came upon by accident. And then I thought, okay, that's it. And then I went on.